So yeah, just kind of a recap video from um, the site that we visited, or I visited. Because if you watch the video, it'd be whoever watched it with me too. Yeah, I believe I was 14. I think it was a year before um I worked at the Forest Service for the summer. I was 15 during that year, so yeah, that was kind of the first. I wasn't into remote viewing at the time. I don't know if you could even take classes on that, if that was even available. So yeah, I wasn't like a trained remote viewer at the time, but I think that was kind of more or less what I experienced. It was just intuition. And I didn't quite like validate that till decades later. Like, oh, that really did happen. That might have been a thing. And yeah, so I wasn't like actually doing remote viewing protocol. It's just I've heard people use that term when you get that feeling. When you see something, literally remote viewing it. It just happens sometimes. And I've heard from um a remote viewer, maybe a few on YouTube, that sometimes things like that it just happens if you're trained in it, or if you're just an intuitive person, you'll pick up things like that. Maybe it's something that happened in an area or someone you meet or something like that. Your intuition will pick up on like red flags basically. And I think all people have that ability. It's a good thing to tune to build a relationship with, so you know what so you know what's going on. And it's not for everybody, and I totally get that. Some of the Native Americans I've met, they have on psychic phenomenon, they have a kind of a different perspective and outlook, and how they treat it too. They don't want people to treat psychic phenomenon like sorcery, which is becoming a trend nowadays. It's sad. Um, More so with like narcissistic people that want to get into sorcery. You can do that. That's a thing. You can be very spiritual and very evil. Um, Spirituality does not necessarily mean that you're a decent person and have good intentions for yourself and others. Um, and that's kind of more of like a come to Jesus thing you have to learn yourself, that there's just certain people you shouldn't hang around or trust. Anyways, I don't know. I'm rambling here, but yeah, I've always wondered why that happened. And my condolences, like in all seriousness, they go out to the parents of that boy. I haven't researched it. I'm sure there's stories I can research and kind of understand a little more, but I want to be really respectful about that too. That's a tragic thing to happen to parents, to a family, and I know other families where that's happened, drownings. That's tragic. It really is. So I want to be really respectful about that, and not, you know, be a little bit more like a reporter and professional how I present that. But yeah, it's just it's kind of one of those things where it's best to keep it to yourself. But I don't know. I just want to put it out there. These things happen. Um, and what's interesting too, later on in life, I've met a lot of people who not only do they know about remote viewing and psychic phenomenon, some of them studied it and they're actually very well trained. And some folks I met, they even are aware of this that work at the sheriff's department, which is fascinating. I will not name any names, it's just confidentiality and everything. But that was interesting to learn. Yeah, you have people in the police force that are kind of more aware of the woo woo and psychic phenomenon, and I think they do take it as a grain of salt. They do take it seriously. So that's good. That's good. That might be a good another tool to use an arsenal for like justice purposes, investigation, court proceedings. I really do think psychic phenomena will be used more and more in the future for detective work. And what I've heard too, it's anybody with skills like that that work in detective work like that, you got to be really careful because it's serious. You know, it's not about money or fame or anything. It's about justice. It really is, and getting clarity. So, you know, there might be more use cases for that in the future. We'll see. Thank you.